The curl of her lips, the ice in her stare. All innocent children had better beware. She's like a spider waiting for the kill. Look out for Cruella DeVille. What's up, Disney fans? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL Vince, and welcome to another edition of the DISNEYCAST, where, you guessed it, we talk about everything Disney. And joining with me today is my co-host, aka my girlfriend, aka the spots to my puppy, Shay.
Hello, everybody.
And today we are continuing on in the 101 Dalmatians franchise. We've already talked about the two animated films. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can watch them. But now we are getting into the live-action remakes.
Yes, the live-action, I believe the first one came out in 1996 with Glenn Close as Cruella DeVille.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with this movie, I barely remembered it.
I think I've seen it before, but I did not recall a lot of what happened in it, so it was good I rewatched it.
Yeah, this was a movie that...
There were certainly some things that happened in this movie, huh?
Yeah. This was a movie that was like, I don't know if you remember, but like when I was a kid, this is a movie that they promoted so much on TV. Like
they had it on Disney Channel.
Channel and it's regular TV, just nonstop.
I'm sure I must have seen it on Disney Channel at some point in my youth.
Yeah, definitely saw this on Disney Channel once and never saw it again, along with 102 Dalmatians, which we'll get to in the near future. But yeah, so this is one that I was like, this is one people don't really talk about that much anymore when it comes to live action remakes, because this one seems to be like lost in the
Disney vault.
It's like they all want to talk about the current live action remakes, Cruella and Lion King and Aladdin and Cinderella, Jungle Book, but like technically this is the one that started the live action
Disney movies, starting with this one, I think.
Yeah.
So, and like I have to say, I think Glenn Close is a really good Cruella.
Yes. No, well, mostly.
I mean, they set her up from the beginning of film as like a little bit unhinged, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get that vibe from her that she's a little off very early on.
Right. But yeah, so overall, this film is, as far as live action remakes go, it's fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
I'm like...
I don't really feel like it's an improvement on the original.
Yeah, but it definitely doesn't ruin it. Yeah.
It's like not terrible.
Yeah, it's middle of the road. There's some choices that they made where I'm like, why did they do this? Like,
I mean, first off, it's not set in the 60s, or like in 1950s, 60s London anymore. It's set like in the present day for the time it was filmed.
Yeah.
They changed Roger from being a composer to being a video game developer, which I thought was an odd choice.
Why?
Why are they doing this? But it was nice to see, like, the hints of, like, the animation from the first movie in the video games.
Yep, you gotta push that product placement in this movie.
Like, the first movie type animation of the dogs as the video game, which I thought was cool. But they could have just kept him a composer.
Right. Though, I don't know if Jeff Daniels is a singer, so that's...
Yeah.
I'm surprised they got Jeff Daniels for this movie. He's actually a really good actor. If you forget the Dumb and Dumber movies. I don't like the Dumb and Dumber movies. But yeah, Jeff Daniels is Roger. I thought he was pretty good. Oh, that's another change. They just made him American. He's not British.
Yeah, he's American in this one. It's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, didn't want to give him a British accent. It was like, okay, fine.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm. And
Anita's working under Cruella as a fashion designer in this one.
Yeah, they actually give her a little bit more development, because I felt like in the original there was
just like, oh, Anita's here.
Yay!
There's not really anything going on with her, so
No.
she had more personality in this one for sure.
And this one actually made more sense when it comes to the connection she has with Cruella, that she works with their fashion company instead of being like college roommate. I'm like, what kind of college roommate?
Yeah, like,
okay.
And they actually had Anita was the one who came up with the design for the Dalmatian like spotted coat based on her dog Perdita as like inspiration. Obviously not planning to skin a dog to make the coat, but just having that kind of pattern.
Yeah, exactly. So that was interesting.
So it's like, what has she done? Like, she didn't know the consequences that would have until later on.
Didn't think that Cruella was a puppy killer, but
leading up to that point, Cruella was all about stripes for the season.
Right.
Until she saw Anita's drawing,
Yes.
and now it's all about spots.
Sports. Jolie Richardson plays Anita. I think I saw her in a couple other movies as well. She was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try not to like make this a comparison party to the original, but there's like a few things that they changed from the original where I'm like,
Why?
that was weird. Like, how Roger and Anita first meet is kind of different.
Yeah, like Pongo just starts running off, pulling Roger on his bike.
On his bike, like...
He still gets shot into the pond, but not with Anita. Anita
Yeah.
gets pulled into the pond later.
Right, like, first of all, it was already weird that the dog is able to pull him on the bike all throughout London. Like,
Yeah.
he went blocks and blocks and blocks.
Knocking
and I'm like,
people over.
like, what? I thought
Like,
Pong...
hit a rollerblader into into, like, a light post.
Right, and like, didn't Pongo
Oh, he's
see them
good.
at like the other side of the street? Why did he have to make all those
He pulled them
blocks or
really
whatever?
far.
Like, that's really
Yeah.
weird. Oh, we should also acknowledge that the dogs don't talk in this movie.
Yeah, I know. I kind of missed it. I missed that the dogs don't talk.
You know, I actually respect that they did that because
It did make it a little more realistic, but that was one of
Yeah.
the things I really liked is that it was kind of from the dog's perspective in the animated version, where
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
the narrator was Pongo, and in this one we don't really get that. So
Right. Though I guess with me, like when I see like movies where they try to have real dogs look like they're actually talking, it
Yeah,
looks
it
kind
never
of
looks
weird. Yeah. Like
That's true.
So it's like it could have. I don't know. I kind of respect them for like taking a risk and be like, we're gonna have the animals just not talk, and then you actually have the dogs actually act in the movie. We actually still feel their emotions, and we
Yeah.
still are invested in what's going on with them, even though we can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, it's more showing, not telling.
Showing, not telling, which is
Yeah.
what I actually
Which you
like
want
about
in
movies.
filmmaking.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
you
important.
want, and it's like you still feel like the connections between not just between different breeds of dogs, but other animals as well, like the original. It's like you still felt.
I like that they still had that in there.
Mhm.
We'll get to a little bit later when the puppies are all making their escape, but they still had like sheep and cows and a
Yeah.
horse helping and
Yeah, so I thought that was
birds.
great.
And, yeah.
But yeah, going back to how they first met. So yeah, like Pongo pulls Roger into the lake, or whatever, and then Pongo goes to Anita and Perdita at the other side of the park, and then
Roger accidentally puts Perdita on a leash instead of Pongo because he mixes the dogs up, and then he was like, give me my dog back. Hits
I'm gonna
him in
hit you with
face
with my
with
purse.
his purse. With her purse that has bricks in it. She just picks them up when she finds them. She's trying to redo her walkway or something.
I'm like, okay, alright, fine.
Yeah, but then he sees that Pongo's staying behind her. They realize it's a funny, haha, misunderstanding. He wasn't trying to steal her dog.
Right. And it's like, what I kind of like was that they don't instantly... Okay,
I mean, they
they
kind of
don't
go back
instantly.
on that.
They kind of lead you on, being like, okay, they're not gonna instantly fall in love as soon as they
Yeah.
see each other. It's
It
like
looks
take a minute,
It looks like they're going their separate ways, but then they come right back to each other.
right? Because then Perdita
Perdita
pulls Anita
Yeah.
from the bike and puts her into the lake. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what?
Yeah, and then
And
they
then-
both go back to Roger's place, I think, and they're
Yeah.
sitting in front of the fireplace. It's like, I think my dog is in love.
Yep.
She's like, I think so too. We're
think-
gonna have to do something about this.
Right.
And then he goes, would you like another cup of marriage?
I mean, tea.
I mean tea. Oh
I'm like,
boy.
okay, get to some
All
silly
right,
stuff
so
like
we
that.
thought you were gonna take a little bit on this, but apparently not.
No,
so then they get married.
It's like, okay, that was kind of silly. I mean, it was
Yeah.
cute, but it was still
It's
really
like you've known
silly.
each other for 3 hours, chill.
Doing the Disney princess logic.
Yeah,
We're
I
like,
mean,
we're
it is Disney.
fall in love instantly.
It's fine. They had people at their wedding in this one.
Yeah, they actually did this time. There's
There were
children
people in the
and
church.
people.
There was a whole choir. They had guests, and it wasn't just them and their
Yeah.
dogs and a priest in the church. And then even their
The
dogs had dog
dogs.
guests outside of the church.
You're like, okay.
Did all of the guests just bring their dogs, or these random dogs that just showed up because they heard about the wedding?
Right.
I don't
And
know.
then nobody's
but it's-
questioning why there's a
there's
bunch of dogs
a bunch
just
of dogs
there.
outside the church.
Yeah, but they literally remake the shot from the original with the
with
two dogs
Anita and
facing each
Roger,
other
and then the dogs
Yeah.
in the foreground,
So I
all
definitely
getting married at the same time.
I
so.
liked that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Nanny's here too.
Mhm.
She was pretty good. Pretty much for a little bit, it just plays out really similar to the first film, where it's like, you know, they have puppies and it's 15 of them.
Something that's different is that Anita and Roger are actually expecting at the same time.
Yes, they're about to have a kid too.
So they find out that Perdita is having puppies and Anita's having a baby.
I'm like, yay, that's cool. Even though that doesn't really affect the movie that much until the end. The very end.
A month pregnant. And then Roger's already, like, Cruella shows up and he's like, did Anita tell you the news? But she's only a month pregnant and you don't really tell people that early.
Yeah, like, why would you...
She's like, oh, that's too bad. Well, you know, sometimes accidents happen. Like, oh, God.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Just as
also,
dark.
Puppies. Oh, that's much more exciting.
Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
But yeah, you know, alright, now let's talk about Glenn Close's Cruella de Vil. Oh my goodness. She's so over the top in this movie.
She's very over the top, but I like it.
Oh my God. Like...
I like how over the top she is. They really make her seem a little unhinged right from the beginning.
True. Like, I like it, but at the same time, it's kind of throwing me off. It is a lot. Like, she feels like a Batman villain practically because of how over the top she is.
I mean,
like,
that's fair, but I like it.
I mean, yeah, okay, I like it, but at the same time, it's just it's
a lot.
It's a lot, you know, because like with the original, yeah, you could feel like she has her mustache twirling elements in here, but she had her moments where she's subtle, you know, because she's actually trying to play an act. But
there's no subtlety in this one.
There's none. Like literally every other scene, she's evil cackling like really a Batman villain. With the lightning and thunder behind them. It's like,
very good.
It's like, oh, it won't be weird. If we make this coat, it's like I'm wearing your dog's. I'm like, oh my God.
So they're just setting that up right away.
She's not being subtle at all. Yeah. She's just like...
There's the thing with the tiger that was weird too.
Oh yeah, they had like a...
There was a tiger that got skinned at the zoo, a Siberian white tiger.
Yep, and
then the pellet gets brought to Cruella, and she's like draping it around herself, and then she makes the mouth of the tiger talk like a puppet.
I'm like, this is some sick shit, man.
It really is.
Oh my goodness. But you know, I commend Glenn Close for just going for it. There, you know,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Like, I will say, when you're comparing the other live action, you know, villains to her, like, she's still up there. Like, to this day.
Absolutely,
like, still iconic.
This one came out in 96, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still, like, I think she is one of the best, you know, live-action villains we got, man. It's like, I don't think she's done a role like this before, ever.
I don't think so.
I don't know. So, it's like, you would think she would have more distinguished, you know, stuff like this. But, like, yeah, she's having fun with it, I'm glad. Jasper and Horace is in the movie too. Yeah. Jasper played...
Or Dr. House and Arthur Weasley.
Right. Yeah, played by Hugh Laurie and Mark Williams. I'm like, wow, they got them to be Jasper and Horace. Like that's pretty good.
Up there.
I like that.
Was that pre-House though?
I don't know.
Potter?
I don't watch House. When did House come out?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, she's gonna.
I watched House though.
Right. And it's not the first time, you know, Hugh Laurie's been in Disney movies. He was in Tomorrowland, and I think another one as well. I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah, he was pretty good. They kind of made Laurie a little bit more dumber.
2004 was when House started.
2004,
airing,
so
yeah,
pre-House. But yeah, so I guess like this version, Jasper seems to be the smarter one of the two, and then Horace is like the dumb one, whatever. I guess they wanted to. I don't know. I did like that dynamic. It was different. It still worked. And then also they had this. I don't know
Skinner?
This Skinner, yeah, like
they're like, yeah, his throat got ripped out by a dog in his youth, so he can't talk.
Can't speak, and I'm like, huh?
Why?
What?
What's the point?
You know, this is the movie about puppies. Why are we?
It's a little gruesome.
See, I'm telling you, this feels like a Batman movie with these villains, man. They just have a Skinner and whatever. It's like, yeah, it's pretty nuts. Okay, so one other thing that was kind of weird for me, like, I guess since, you know, the dogs can't talk, they feel like that they have to overcompensate with how they interact with the humans, especially with the villains. And so, that being said, they have a whole bunch of slapstick in this movie, and I'm like, the slapstick was a little too much in
There
this
was a
film.
lot of, like,
It
slapstick
really felt like some Home Alone stuff, like
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah.
second half of the movie. And I don't know. I mean, the original had their slapstick in there, but it's like it wasn't as overblown as it is in here. Like it literally feels like, the dogs took their time to trap some stuff for the humans.
Yeah, they came up with some elaborate things. In the second one, they come up with even more elaborate things.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, okay, guys. And then it's like, the slapstick wasn't even that funny. It felt more painful than anything. Like, every time that Jasper and Horace fall into something or slide or crash
Like,
different
isn't it
floors.
Horace just, like, gets frozen to the ground after he comes out of the pond?
I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't happen, but okay.
It takes a while for the frostbite to set in.
Right, like, you don't just freeze like it's a cartoon. Like, it still feels like a live-action cartoon. And it's like, when they're doing slapstick, I'm just like, oh,
And they
that
fall on
looks...
the electric fence.
Yep,
Why?
and they land around their nuts. I'm like, okay. Or when they're in the abandoned house and I think Jasper's chasing after Lucky, and then the literally he crashes down 2 or 3 floors.
Yeah, and then what was it, like a bison or a buffalo, like falls off the wall and like lands on his face.
Yep, and looks like they're kissing or whatever. It's like,
it's
okay, that's a little strange. And then, oh my God, Cruella. When they do the Cruella, oh my God, when she goes into the barn, and then
they make a pig fall on top. They trick her. Like, they have all the puppies hiding in the hay. She sees one tail sticking out, assumes it's a dog. Goes, grabs it, it's a pig. The pig falls on top of her body and is holding her down.
Mm-hmm. And then when she gets up, I guess like there was some what was it, raccoons or something, whatever, and they trigger a giant pot of...
It was like molasses, I think there was a sign that she falls into molasses, which, why would there be molasses in a bucket in a barn?
A huge vat of molasses in a barn.
Molasses is for baking. Why is it out there?
In the barn. Like, what?
I have questions.
Where'd you get this from? And you got trapdoors in a barn? Like...
Yeah, like, what are these farmers expecting to happen to them?
Yeah, that was a little much. And then, that doesn't stop there. The horse kicks her into
the pig pen. Like, into literal shit and mud.
I'm like, okay.
She gets coated on top of the molasses and the hay.
Right. First of all, like...
And then she gets arrested.
Yeah. Like, first of all, she got kicked by the horse twice. So she would either get knocked out or have a massive concussion.
A horse kicking you could kill you.
Yeah, so, but, she just catapults like a cartoon.
Nothing can kill Cruella.
Nope.
We didn't talk about all the ridiculous names they gave the puppies in this one.
Oh, please, because I don't remember all of them.
Okay, so
I just remember Lucky and...
Yeah, Lucky is the same as the first one.
Yeah.
And they had the same thing where they thought one puppy wasn't going to make it and was brought out by an Annie to Roger and Pongo. And Pongo's like, Roger, help.
Mm-hmm.
And then he rubs the puppy and the puppy's okay, yay. And they're like, this one's going to be Lucky. But yeah, they have this thing where they're putting collars on the puppies, like on Christmas. Mm-hmm. One of them is called Whizzer.
Whizzer.
The one that pees everywhere is Whizzer.
You have pee jokes?
What?
Why?
They have one called Dipstick, because it looks like his tail got dipped into oil.
Okay.
They had Two-Tone, who had one black ear, I guess, was why.
Alright.
I think one was just Spotty, which isn't very creative.
I mean, there was one named Patch in the original.
Patch in the original, but, like, he had a spot over his eye. I'm not mad at that one, but, like, I'm gonna look up.
That's really weird. Why I would say that, yeah, like, what was the one that was named after P, like, whatever?
Whizzer.
Whizzer. Like, really? Name. That's horrible. That's a horrible name. And then, yeah, why would you have pee joke? I hate pee jokes in movies, I really do. And then they use that pee joke for more slapstick because Jasper trips on the pee and falls flat on his back.
So the ones they had in the animated were Lucky, Rolly, Patch, Penny, Pepper, and Freckles, but it's not telling me. Here it is. I'm trying to find if there were any other weird ones.
Yeah, what?
Jewel. They had one called Jewel.
Jewel.
Which isn't like a normal dog name. Fine. Fidget. So he just would scratch himself and falling over. Fidget.
Okay, great.
But yeah. So the other ones they named Jewel, Dipstick, Fidget, Two-Tone, and Whizzer were 5 new dog names from this movie.
Okay, great.
But they showed them putting collars on, so...
Well, alright. I mean...
Apparently there's a bunch of other ones of them have names, but they never mention it in the movie. So.
Right, I mean, since they never really, like, named all 15 in the original, like, you could just add them along with the original names for this movie, except Wizard. Whoever came up with that?
He's like, yo, he keeps peeing on stuff. We shouldn't train him not to do that. We'll just call him Wizard.
Like, shame on you. Like,
terrible.
Really?
Ew.
Ugh.
There's some weird dog names in the 102 Dalmatians, too.
Yeah,
so.
that also. I like that the sergeant, the captain, and the colonel are technically
they're
back.
still in there, but they don't mention them by name.
No.
Just like you would have to know from the first one.
Right.
Like
How could you even
animated...
name them, though? Like...
Yeah, because none of the animals talk in this one, so you just wouldn't know, besides,
but,
like, the humans saying their animals' names.
Right.
But
so that's kind of an Easter egg for people in the original. It's like, see the horse and the shaggy dog and the cat, even though the cat doesn't do anything.
Yeah, they don't show the cat, really.
But at the same time,
like,
how could you train
brief.
a cat to rescue puppies from the warehouse?
You just get a laser pointer and we'll chase it.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they were technically back, and they still had the dog like signal stuff from the original.
Yeah, they still had the Twilight Bark, but they didn't tell us that's what it was called.
No.
They just had like the chain of dogs.
Chain of dogs thing. So that's just another Easter egg for people that watch the original.
Yeah.
But I guess for people that haven't seen the original, they're probably like, oh, there's a connection to all the dogs. That's clever. So I think that still kind of works. I think even like the dog that was with the goose that was in the original, I forget his name. He was in the Towser. Yeah, I think that black and white dog that was in the snow that was barking, I think that was supposed to be their version of Towser. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was no goose. Like, okay. But they do have the cows, and they feed the
sheep who lay on top of the puppies to hide them.
Yeah, so that was actually kind of clever how they did it.
Yeah, they had them tucked in there because they had like the tracks going up, and Cruella's like peering out of her car along the road, and then she sees it's just sheep there, and she keeps going, and then the sheep all get up, and all the puppies run out.
It's like, oh, that was cool. That was pretty cool.
Good addition.
Mm-hmm. And of course, they gotta shove in their Disney product placement in this movie because the puppies watch the Aristocats.
The Aristocats.
And Homeward Bound.
The Aristocats. They're like, oh, like, what was the song from Aristocats?
Everybody
wants to be a cat. And then they changed the channel.
Yep, to Homeward Bound. It was like, nope, we don't want to be a cat. Yeah, we will review that sometime in the future. I like that movie a lot. And Homeward Bound. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, I've seen Homeward Bound.
Oh, well.
That's on the list.
Yeah, that's on the list as well.
Everything's on the list.
But yeah, the product placement they got in this movie, and then also in the 102 Dalmatians, we'll get to that.
There.
But, I mean, I thought it was kind of cute how they did it, I guess. Part of me wishes that, I don't know if they'll ever do a live-action Aristocats movie. I don't know how they would do a live-action Aristocats movie, because then, I don't know. Because it really relies on the cats talking in that, so I don't know how the humans could
have one that's just like based on people.
Unless they do
it's very animal centric.
Right. Unless they do like the live action Lady and the Tramp, where they did make the real animals talk, where that was still kind of weird, but it was better than older movies. It's a kind of an improvement. It's not exactly Jungle Book and Lion King good, but it's not weird like Dr. Dolittle. So it's like maybe. But part of me thinks that Lady and the Tramp and 101 Dalmatians and Aristocats could be in the same world. So it's like that just kind of threw me off. Like, oh, Disney exists in a Disney universe. Okay, that's it. Oh, my mind's tripping right now. So that was kind of weird.
Circles within circles.
Circles within circles in the Twilight Zone. But is there anything else about this remake? But yeah.
That's most of what I have to say, I think. Like, Glenn Close, very good. Very over the top. Liked it.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of stuff that they pulled from the animated, which I appreciated. I don't know why they had to make Roger a video game developer instead of...
You gotta be modern and hip, and you gotta push for, gotta push for merchandise, and I'm sure there's 101 Dalmatians video game out there that looks very similar to that.
Probably.
But yeah, it would have been nice if she was a composer still and
Yeah,
a
I
singer.
really enjoyed that from the first one, all the instruments and like him actually playing the music and making the iconic song about Cruella.
Yeah.
Instead, she just gets to be the villain in his video game, and that's how it gets sold
Right.
at the end.
And then the Cruella de Vil song only happens in the end credits.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
which is a bummer.
Yeah,
but-
speaking of that, the opening credits. Remember how we talked about the animated movies have creative opening titles? This is generic black and white credits.
Yeah, it's
so
not
like,
great.
okay, great.
Yeah. I really liked the first animated one had really great credits because it had the Dalmatian spots as like the music notes.
Yeah.
It was so good.
That was good.
Yeah, nothing like that in this one.
Right. I'll even say, even though we don't like Patch's London Adventure, even
Yeah, it's
they
not
tried harder with the opening credits in that one. That they tried to be kind of like the first one, but it's not. But yeah, that was a bummer. But okay, they want to be different. They don't want to do everything the same, which okay, it's fine. But yeah, overall, I thought it's a solid remake.
It's solid.
I can't say it's better than the original.
Definitely not.
I almost want to say it's kind of.
I enjoyed it more than 101 Dalmatians 2 London's
Patch's London
Adventure.
Yeah, it's definitely better than that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still say the original is a little bit more enjoyable, but this is not this is not an offensive remake. It's it did its job.
It's good.
Yeah, I think Glenn Close is really
Glenn Close is
enjoyable
really good.
as Cruella de Vil. I do like Jeff Daniels as Roger and Jolie Richardson as Anita and Jasper Norris, Hugh Laurie, and Mark Williams pretty good. Yeah, and I actually respect them that they had the dogs not talk. That was a very risky move back then, and I think it still paid off. Even though, I prefer them still talking, but I think the choice they made for this movie, it worked.
It made sense for the setting they had it in.
Yep. So, I'll say that 101 Dalmatians, 1996, is just okay.
I agree.
Cool.
Just okay.
Just okay. But that is our thoughts on the live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment below and let us know. So, yeah, we'll be continuing on talking about its sequel, 102 Dalmatians. And then we will talk about Cruella when it's free on Disney+.
Yeah, because we're not paying $30 for that.
Nope. We missed it in theaters, too, so...
Yeah, we just got a couple more weeks until it comes out, right?
Yep.
29th or whatever.
Yep. And then plenty more Disney stuff to come really soon. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that bell if you want to be notified on future videos we'll be doing. But that's all we have for you Disney fans. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
And talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.